Hello and welcome to the Rising Stars of Comedy. I'm Akriti Tyagi. Maya Angelou once said, words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning. She is one of India's top 3 popular female comedians. Forbes India has named her Urban India's funny girl. She herself is of the opinion that by the time you walk on the stage and take your place at the microphone, you've already been judged. Please welcome Aditi Mittal.
Hello, good evening. My name is Aditi Mittal, and just confession time, as it always is. I am half Sindhi and half Punjabi. I know. There's nothing to be proud of. By the way, how many more mongrels in the crowd? Anyone half anything and half anything? So it's like being half Israeli and half Palestinian. Because the two sides are never going to get along. Like as Punjabis we enthu. Rab da sona roop kaun? Asi, Punjabi. Asi decide kitta hai. I can't remember what my own mother looks like because every time I try to imagine her, I see Kiran Kher.
Thank you so much for being a part of the show, Aditi.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me, Akriti. I'm very excited.
Yay!
Tell
Okay,
me.
let's do it then. Okay, so tell me, born into a Punjabi household is what you were telling me?
Yes, one of
and
those
then,
things.
yes, and growing. So tell me something about your childhood.
Something about my childhood. So I was born at a dark and stormy night.
All right then,
And
you're not Krishna. So
Yes.
let's get it.
It started, no. So
Okay.
I am half Sindhi and half Punjabi. At
Okay.
least that's the sort of ruse I am using
Okay.
right now. And it's lots of fun. My family is very jolly and jovial and very overexcited all the time. And so it is not completely strange that I'm doing what I'm doing. Is because my family is hilarious.
Okay.
And someone had to make a living out of it. So touch wood, it's me.
That's nice. So what pushed you into comedy? Like, was there obviously apart from the genetical, obviousness of it, what else was the push factor?
So I think because also one of the things is I went to an all-girls school,
Okay.
right? And so now all-girls school normally there is one person who has to get punished, who has to get thrown out of class, who everybody they laugh at while they go out. And so there were no guys to do that in my class.
Okay.
And so I took on that very serious responsibility.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Someone's got to do it.
Yes.
And so I took on that responsibility very seriously. I was found mostly kneeling outside class.
Okay.
And that I used to use that as an excuse to run away to get samosas early before short break. Because literally 10 minutes into short break they would get over.
Okay.
So I used to get a head start on samosas because I was useless in class.
Okay.
So I think this was it was a natural progression really.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
And then how did it happen professionally?
I found out about a couple of open mics that were going on in the city and I went thinking कि यार मेरे कौन से मामे चाचे बैठे audience में तो मुझे क्या worry है, let me go try. And so I tried it. But the story I like to tell is that, I am actually Mahesh Bhatt's son. And so...
I got picked.
Yeah. Kejo and I are super close. So he didn't give me a movie, didn't launch me at all.
Okay.
In fact, has not given me a job so far.
Ouch.
But I am in stand-up comedy because I'm Mahesh Bhatt's son.
Okay. And the true story is?
The true story is that actually a friend of mine was going for an open mic and then, I looked at it and I said, this is easy, and I tried it. And, I was just an instant success. People picked me up on their shoulders. People picked me up on their shoulders and were yelling, Bahubali, Bahubali. And I was like, guys, please stop it. And since then, I have won a Nobel Prize. Wow. Yeah, there's been no looking. The rest is history.
Of course, only the child of a Sindhi mother will know the sorrow of Sunday pav bhaji, which is basically the entire week's leftovers. and then served with bread. And my poor, enthusiastic Punjabi father is trying to sell this to us. Pushpa Monday they chole too good. Pushpa Tuesday they bangan fantastic. Pushpa Wednesday they see beta your mother is the only person on this planet who can put noodle in pav bhaji.
I also want to know that comedy as a career is not a registered profession in India. India as a society, let's face it, is not as open-minded as we'd like it, right? It's 21st century. Did you ever have to be at the receiving end of flack, of opposition from, literally the society that you live in, or, your extended family, your friends, somebody?
So I feel like my parents still don't know what I do.
Okay.
Like my mother still thinks I'm going to get a job. She's like, अच्छा
Someday.
नहीं ये करेगी ये comedy अभी 1-2 साल के लिए हो जाएगा इसका. And then I hope to God actually she's not right. But so she's just like, yeah, my daughter is a comedy. Like she does
It's a comedy.
she doesn't care less for the vocabulary or whatever. She's like, हाँ ये वो करती है. And yeah, it was very like a lot of my relatives were very intrigued. They were like, ये क्या कर रही है? ये. Oh, so does she give galis on stage? Oh, इसका तो यही होना था स्कूल में भी ऐसी थी. So people were confused.
Sure.
And though what is great, then I'm just like, अरे आके show देखो. मैं आपको explain नहीं कर सकती. Though again, another symptom of that is that whenever you go to a public place or like a family party or something, there's always
Jokes
that one
सुनाओ.
person. Oh, joke सुनाओ, तुम तो बड़े चुटकुले सुनाते हो. Tell us more चुटकुले. I'm like, yeah. नहीं यार ये फैमिली गैदरिंग है, मेरे सारे कजिन्स हैं, ये लोग मेरा मजाक उड़ाते हैं तो मैं किसी का मजाक नहीं उड़ा सकती. So it's that, it's like I think that people don't really know what it is, but they kind of are, they are okay with it. And my parents have been amazing. Like I think even when my mom didn't know what stand-up was, she was dropping me off to open mics.
Oh, lovely.
I would run material by her, when before I went for a show, no matter what it was. I mean, my mom and my dad both, I'd be reading out jokes to them, irrespective, and they would not even like something. They'd be like, "Arey ye aisa nahi bolna chahiye," but they never told me that I couldn't do it. Yeah. And I think even otherwise, when people are like, "Wow, you're a female comedy. Wow, you're like a monkey who is typing Shakespeare. Wow," I don't think it's that amazing because we were never told. At least I was never told that I couldn't.
Yeah.
So I just did it, I guess. I don't know. This makes me sound really weird now.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's good. Dolly Khurana and Dr. Mrs. Lutchuke are two of your very iconic characters. Tell us something about those.
Actually, when I started, in sort of, when I was in Bombay, when I came back to Bombay after college, I wanted to do like a case serial.
Okay.
I wanted to do one hardcore case serial where I wake up in full makeup. And I'm like, Sasu Ma, and Vivan ji, aap kya keh rahe hain? Like I was very hell-bent on that, and I went for a lot of auditions.
Okay.
And so to me, the idea of dressing up and being ridiculous is very, very exciting. And which is why when I started doing comedy, I was like, oh, I had so many other things to say, and I think one of the things that I was very wary of was talking about sex.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I don't want people to think of me as someone who has sex.
Yeah.
Because then that moment that happens, then they're like, "Arey, ye to sirf gandi baatein bolti." Like she is so disgusting. Yeah. Honestly, for 30 minutes, if you go and do one joke about sex, people will walk out being like, "That girl, sex obsessed." I was like, sex obsessed when I said nothing, like one joke. And I
I'm
may
not
have
an
talked
addict,
about,
guys.
yeah, I'm not an addict.
guys.
That's the thing. It's one mention and you are the other end of the spectrum. Yeah. Like, so, and I just had to get those jokes out there. I was like, ye kaise karu? And so then I started doing it as Dr. Mrs. Lutchuke.
Okay.
And so Dr. Mrs. Lutchuke is this like old lady who's like, hello, friends, students, or whatever. And it's all very like I realized using a foil or using an outer covering of a character, first of all, it delivers some kind of immunity.
Sure.
You can say a lot of things that you wouldn't normally think, and you would be able to sort of be like, नहीं मैं तो नहीं बोला, वो तो लुच्चुकी है, पागल है, वो उससे बात करो, like. So you can sort of
You have that facade to actually hide behind. Yes.
Hanji, you have that sort of cover, and And then you can say a lot of things.
Yeah.
You can say a lot of things. And so I just used Luchuke to talk about sex, and I think she caught on really quickly. Like, people really, really liked Luchuke because of how silly the whole package was. And then Dolly Khurana is actually, I think, closer to my bua. Like, I was very heavily inspired by my bua, who's very cute and very funny.
Okay.
And she's one of those people like, chaped maar do usko. Like, she talks like that, okay? Anything happens, chaped maar do. Like, chapatiyan nahi bani, chapatiyon ko chaped maar do. So,
Obviously, at the age of 28, whenever you enter the house, your parents are like, beta, chai, khana, shadi. And that's one of those things, right? And as what we Punjabis like to call a healthy girl, I have realized I qualify in the marriage market for only other healthy guys. My favorite thing about Indian ghosts, we come with our own soundtrack. Every time there's an Indian ghost around, you'll hear chun, chun, chun. I'm like, just a second, ghost ji. You are not real, correct? But your payal, your gungta, your jumru, all your assorted accessories are real. Because you are standing there in the middle of the night, in the middle of a highway, dressed like a Tribhuvan Das Bhimji Zaveri model.